If you like high-flying action and three-point sharpshooters, then we've got one heck of a matchup at the Bergstrom Court on the campus of Minnehaha Academy. The defending Class 2A state champion, Minnehaha Academy Redhawks, host the Como Park Cougars. Both top 10 teams in their respective classes, and both can put up points in a hurry. Greetings, everyone. I'm Mike Peden. She is LaToya Turk. Excuse the voice, getting over a cold. But LaToya, these two teams are anything but cold.
Absolutely. We got two really high-scoring teams, two teams that have backcourts that can score and put the ball up. I mean, we have Mia Curtis, number 2 in the state for a three-point shot, and then she also has a teammate on the team who's number 3 in the state. So we're not gonna be short on offense tonight. And then on the Como Park team, that quick backcourt that they have, and we've seen that Ronnie Porter's really been putting up some big numbers these past few games. So I'm excited to see this game.
Well, let's talk about Minnehaha. Mia Curtis and the teammate you mentioned, Tana Gallo, 2 and 3 in three-point field goals. Mia also in the top 10 in assists and steals. Last time we were here, I said it's a surprise that no college has come calling her way yet with the numbers Mia has put up. Mia, 3 straight 30-point games. This kid is fun to watch no matter who the opponent is.
Right, 3 straight 30-point games as well as 5 for the season. And Mia's a bigger guard, so I would think that, like you said, we would have colleges beating down the door here. She can shoot the 3. She defends very well. She's leading in assists and steals in the state right now. So and she's a strong guard rebounder. So there's a lot. She brings a lot to the floor. So if you're out there and you need a guard, I'd check out Mia Curtis.
And she has a few double-doubles of the points, assists, points, steals variety. That's not common in the sport of basketball. Como Park, they've been getting it done by committee in a sense. You know, Jada James maybe hasn't had a strong sophomore season compared to a year ago, but as you noted, Ronnie Porter has really stepped it up. She's 13 points away from 1,000. She had her first 30-point game of the season against Greenham Hall on Monday.
Absolutely. And, you know, if there's anything I know about this kid is that we'll be seeing a 1,000-mark point hitter tonight. She has a great help in the backcourt with KK Asbury. She has some strong hitters coming off the bench that play strong defense for her. And then, you know, Como Park in the paint, they have Chloe, who's number 7 in the state for blocks right now, and she's only in the 10th grade.
How about those super sophomores of Como Park? They've been together since 8th grade, and I have a feeling that chemistry is really starting to show this year.
Oh, yeah. You know, if you know anything about this history, they were able to play for Ball and Pretty for a few years under their assistant coach, who's Ronnie Porter's mom, Yolanda. And so they've just been able to groom and fine-tune, and they're looking like a real well-oiled machine. It reminds me of the Wayzata team, how they played together for so long, and the end result will be getting to the state championship.
Last year, it was Como Park getting the winning result over Minnehaha Academy. We'll see what happens this time around.
Twin Cities Sports Broadcasting, and a whole lot more. That's what you get from TSB Television. We provide long-lasting digital coverage of your favorite athletes from the preps to the pros. Dazzling moves.
Holloman, good if it goes. Yes!
Game winners.
James, she's in trouble. Finds James, toss shot, it goes in!
And everything in between.
Before we let you go, do you want to say hi to anybody?
Oh, I don't know. That put me on the spot there.
If you want to connect with our audience, visit us at patreon.com/TSB Television or sponsor our coverage through PayPal and Cash App. Thank you for watching.
Mike Peden and LaToya Turk here at the Bergstrom Court in LaToya. I have to imagine this visit a lot more exciting than your last time here because you don't have your daughter going up against Mia Curtis.
A little less stressful. This is a game that I'm really looking forward to, this matchup, especially in the backcourt. So, yeah, I'm going to enjoy this.
Well, we won't bring up the fact that one of Mia's 30-point games came against Maranatha. Oh, wait, I just did. But second in the state in three-pointers, third in assists, fourth in steals, and 7th in scoring. Mia Curtis averaging 26.5 per game.
Hey, those are some good numbers. I've known this kid for a long time, and this is kind of destiny for her. We knew this was going to happen.
Well, she is the all-time leading scorer at Minnehaha Academy, so she has plenty of history to her credit. At Como Park looking to add a little more history. They have not reached a state tournament since their first visit in 2016. They got moved into Section 3, as we noted earlier this year. That gets them out of De La Salle, but Simley and St. Croix Lutheran are right there with them.
Hey, tough teams to play, too, on any night.
And Como Park, I know, is looking for a few more games.
That's going to be very beneficial for them playing in that St. Paul conference. That conference just hasn't developed in the past few years, and this Como team, their skill level just far surpasses what they have as competition over there in St. Paul. So this is going to be a great matchup for them tonight.
They played some top teams like St. Louis Park and St. Michael Albertville in 4A, Stewartville in 2A. And with the starters introduced, let's do the same. For the Como Park Cougars, it's Ronnie Porter. She's 13 away from 1,000, number 1. KK Asbury, number 24. Chloe Dimitrick, number 25. Shakila Walker, number 30. And Jada James, number 42. Minnehaha, same 5 as last time. So it's Talia Graham, number 2. Mia Curtis, number 5. Tessa Liner, number 11. Barrett Parton, number 13. And Kate Pryor, number 23. Kate Pryor, Division I softball commit, headed to Boston University, and I noted this the last time I was here. Amazing how things come full circle. Talia Graham's father went to Boston as a basketball player, played Division I there, and now you've got Kate going to Boston next year on a softball scholarship.
Hey, small world, close family, especially with sports here in the state of Minnesota. We have some great athletes across the board, especially for our young ladies.
Right, and Matt Pryor, a Minnehaha Academy graduate. Attended this school and graduated in 2011.
Nice lineage there. Looks like Minnehaha controls the tip here, and we get the ball right into Mia's hands right away. One thing we know, Ronnie's going to put a lot of pressure, and that's one thing that Lex is going to demand of this team, is that they stay defensively strong here.
And they bring the pressure right away, and that gets them a transition bucket. Porter with the dime, KK Asbury with the layup.
And we know that's what they do, that backcourt press, and we saw a 3-on-1 right away. Send a little message there quick in the game.
I see Jerome is getting some highlights. What are we here for then? Another steal for the Cougars. Asbury steps into a 13-footer, no good.
3-on-2, right away. Right away, we see Chloe crashing those boards. You know, Chloe's young. She's a 10th grader. She's a year younger in age. She's leading in the top.
A grade, I think.
Top 10 in the state for blocks. I watched this kid play over the summer at UVA, and she's a strong inside-outside player. I look for lots of growth over these next years, especially this summer with her playing over at 43 Hoops on Team Olivia. So shout out to her. You're getting a good player, Liv.
Oh, Olivia, she can't wait. Dimitrick averaging 6.4 points, 6 rebounds per game. Her father, Jeff, a classic car enthusiast.
And Chloe has a motto, all gas, no brakes.
And the Cougars off to a quick 4-0 start.
That was excellent defense in the paint there by KK, being a whole half a foot shorter than the rebounder. Great rotation on that press.
Dimitrick blocks. And Jeff's affinity for classic cars has rubbed off on his daughter. She likes to attend those car shows as well, and she's also a sneakerhead.
Oh, yeah. She's a daddy's girl.
Started at Columbia Heights, came over to Como Park last year. Traveling call in Jada James.
But one thing that we know, if Jada gets going, she definitely will put that ball on the floor and get to the rack.
Jada, a double-double threat last year, hasn't put up those numbers this year, but she's had a lot of help. So takes a little pressure off of her.
Right.
But you may know this, Jada takes part in a softball league, and she averages about 3 home runs. She has a lot of power, a lot of strength
power,
in that body.
You can see the swarming defense from Como Park right here.
And that's going to be a foul on Dimitrick. Tana Gallo will shoot free throws. Tana third in the state in 3-point field goals.
You know, that was one thing I was talking to some of my basketball colleagues about this matchup tonight. The paint play for Minnehaha has got to be strong this game in order for them to compete with the 2 bigs that Como Park has on the floor. But if anyone gets in foul trouble, that can definitely sway the game, especially in the rebounding area.
Gallo averaging 13.1 a game. 5 triples or more in 5 games, but she comes up short of the line.
And boy, have we seen a big development in her over the year.
Asbury drains the 3. Timeout Minnehaha. And the Cougars off to a 7-0 start.
Yeah, you'll learn real quick. You can't leave any space of those.
Well,
Cougars are shooters.
Asbury Porter, Jada James all started as 8th graders, and that development has really come into form over the last couple of years.
Oh, yeah. You know, when you look at the roster for Minnehaha, they're seniors, and then you have the 10th graders at Como. But we have to remember, like you said, these girls have been playing varsity since the 8th grade. And if you've seen them play before they played at Como Park, they were playing at a varsity level 6th, 7th grade as well.
Right. KK Asbury started at Highland Park as a 7th grader before moving over and has fit in quite nicely. I remember she dropped 17 points against Stillwater as an 8th grader, and this Cougars team had the most wins in school history last year, but lost in the section semifinal to eventual state champion De La Salle.
Yeah, patience is going to be a key in beating that press there.
And not what you want on an ATO sequence, a traveling call on Tanagallo.
So it looks like Gallo said something was on the floor. We want to make sure we keep those floors dry for these girls. A lot of them have plans after this season.
And we have another wet spot to clean up.
Look at Minnehaha. I don't think I've ever seen that at a high school game, the official floor.
Oh, floor mop?
Yeah. Oh, that was excellent execution there. And we know the goal and what you want to accomplish with the zone is to swing the defense. And so you can hear their coach, great rebound, Chloe. You can hear their coach clapping to keep the ball moving.
Dimitrik with the putback. She's up to 4. Como brings the pressure up top. And a foul on the Cougars. That is the high-risk, high-reward strategy for Como Park on defense. They're aggressive. It can lead to fouls, but it also sets up the transition.
And I think once they get a little more mature, they're going to realize that they don't have to foul her that far away from the basket. They had her in the pinch. She was retreating. That jump trap can be frightening. Sometimes it just gets you stuck.
Speaking of frightening, that's what Mia Curtis can do to the opposing teams, and she'll shoot 2.
Showing a little of her strength there. She held on to that ball.
Mia over 2,000 points. She'll leave this school with the all-time record in points and probably 3-pointers. And she's got some younger sisters who
that's
may make their way
amazing.
through. Also fluent in Spanish.
For me, on a personal note, it's just really amazing to see a lot of the juniors and seniors now finishing up, and they're all playing really well. So a lot of the young ladies that I've had an opportunity to watch over the years.
Well, that gets the Redhawks on the board, but they trail 9-1. Porter with the high low to Jada James, delayed, up and in. Nice little shake by James there. Now, maybe you know the story behind this. Ronnie Porter wears black and white shoes, usually off color. Doesn't wear a matching set like other players do.
Yeah, I don't know what's behind that. I think Shania might do that as well. Shania Nichols. Don't quote me on that though.
She's the only player that I have seen this season who wears off-colored shoes like that.
I know a sneakerhead who'll have the answer for us.
Tamaya?
Yeah.
Turnover on the Redhawks.
And Holton's coming off the bench for Como. I've seen this kid play over the summer as well, this young lady. And she's explosive. She has a sister who was explosive in track a couple of years ago, and she's really dynamic off the dribble. She's really strong. She'll bring a little speed to the game.
That's Michaela Holton. She and Shakila usually trade that last spot in the starting 5. Porter, no good. Asbury, count it.
Hey, and talk about knowing your player.
7 points for KK Asbury.
Jada knew right where KK was. Like when you watch it on the replay, it was just a little flip of the wrist. Here you go. Here you go.
And if you're wondering why I didn't sound that excited about the play, again, I got to behave myself, watch my voice. So no shouting. LaToya's going to make sure of that.
Okay.
No shouting for me today.
I got you.
No, you got to do all the yelling and exclamation.
Okay.
But how about this? The Cougars with a 14-1 lead over Minnehaha.
We've been there before. Maranatha started off with a, 11-1 lead?
11-0, I think.
Yeah.
But the Redhawks can put points up in a hurry. There's Jenica Suggs.
And that's what Suggs is known for. She gets in there right away, powerhouse rebounding. Young, energetic, and you can see she's the first one back down the court. She's going to speed up the game as well.
As you know, her big brother heading to the McDonald's All-American game. Porter for three. Yes.
Yeah. You know.
Timeout Redhawks.
And the Redhawks have burned 2 timeouts right away. Well, I would too, 1-17, but that play, they're executing it great. There have been 2 times that they've executed that play that Ronnie's been open, and this is the first time they gave it to her soon enough where she could get the shot off. So someone's getting picked over there, and they're not switching or calling it out.
And you can see the look in Matt Pryor's face, a sense of urgency in the huddle.
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah. They got to pick up the defense against this Como team. Como has good handles. They're executing their plays. That's one thing that I can remember from practicing with Lex is that she's very particular about the execution of the play. You can scout a team all day long, but if you execute, there's nothing they can do about it.
And with that three, Ronnie Porter is now 10 points away from 1,000. She'll need to score a few more if she wants to have a chance at catching Andrea Adams. By the way, Andrea had a career high yesterday. 29.
Yeah.
The Texas Tech's win over Oklahoma.
She was on fire. You know, when she came home for Christmas break, she worked out with Demaya. When we get the Concordia Academy game, there's a couple of moves that they do exactly the same. Have to do a split screen.
Now, I don't know if Andrea's parents watch these games, but Lee or Patrick, if you are, if you've got a connection to get me involved with the Fox so I can call Andrea at a Texas Tech game,
yeah.
If you got the hookup, let me know. But Andrea Adams. Here's Mia Curtis. Let's see if that gets Minnehaha some momentum.
Great job breaking the press that time.
And Mia, a track athlete, so.
Stayed under control.
Jada James, right back at you.
Yeah. That's the price you can pay when you're pressing. You can get those 2-on-1s. And now that's
Minnehaha
3 of his quick timeouts.
Right.
Yeah.
They've burned 3 timeouts in 5 minutes and 15 seconds. But Como Park's defense, we've seen this over this last several years.
Yeah,
it's no different this year.
Absolutely. And, you know, Kate Pryor's a senior on the team. We've seen her handle the ball, but it's something about when those guards from Como put that trap on you. That's a lot of pressure, but I know she can handle it. She just needs to settle down, pass the ball out of that press, and keep her head on her.
Now, as we were saying, Como Park looking to add a few games. They only had 22 on the schedule in the hopes that other teams, if they had to drop some, would call them up. And I talked to Lex about that before the Madison East game, and she said, I would rather play fewer games than schedule somebody that wouldn't give us a quality matchup.
Yeah. And that's hard for the girls. It's hard for both teams, you know, psychologically to get beat 99-2. That's very difficult. But then from Como's side, we know that they're getting deep into the section, so they need to get their runs in and practice their execution. And Mia from 3.
That doesn't drop. Ronnie Porter with the rebound.
So you need to pick up some good competition.
A rare miscue for the Cougars. 19-3 is our score.
You know, I've seen an increase in the number of travels called lately. We have to start slow-moing some of these.
I've seen that as well.
Call some, miss some, huh?
And then conversely, I've seen some travels not get called.
One thing that I'm not seeing called is carry, and I'm seeing a lot of girls carry.
Here's Talia Graham. Nothing doing there. Kay Pryor with the rebound and the putback.
Way to be there. And Talia Graham's only in the 10th grade. Heard that, you know, a couple of years, maybe even this summer, the development we'll see from her just to have the confidence to put the ball on the floor and go to the rack like that.
She does have 2 double-doubles to her credit. The most recent coming against St. Anthony. That one won by the Huskies in double overtime.
And there's that play again from the other side.
Michaela Holton with the rebound.
There with the rebound, the smallest person underneath the basket. She has a little bit of a punch there.
And Como winning the second chance battle. This is Penny Sedgwick. And that will be a foul on the Cougars.
Boy. So now we got 2 shooters back in the game. Let's see what Minnehaha's going to do here. They're having a little trouble getting set up in their offense. I guess having to undergo 7 seconds of pressure can be difficult. And now the pressure starts. Oh, did she call the offensive foul?
She did. Penny Sedgwick led with the elbow.
That was great body mechanics by Ronnie right there, showing the foul right on time. That was great. Great job, Ronnie.
Porter for 3. 1 for 3 is Porter at the 3-point line.
And checked in the game for Como is also Jalen Smith, number 5. Another explosive player who comes off the bench. Also had the opportunity of working with her this summer at UVA. Very quick. Give the defense trouble, and she'll rebound.
Ronnie Porter will shoot 3 free throws.
Kay Pryor's having all kind of troubles with Ronnie tonight.
That's Sedgwick, I think.
Oh, I'm sorry, Sedgwick. I'm sorry. Correct.
Ronnie Porter's nickname is Peanut. Not sure how she got that, but
you know, when you're a smaller player like that, it's a nice trick in the bag to have to be able to show your fouls, and so just showing your fouls. She does a great job of that.
Wants to try golf.
A little less stressful, a little low impact.
Low impact, yes. Stressful, I don't know, because in golf, it's
just you.
Individual, yes.
Yeah, it's just you.
So
here she's got to be responsible for 4 other people on the floor. She's the point guard.
So if you make a mistake in golf, right, there's no one else to lift you up, per se. Michaela Holton with the steal and the finish. And the Cougars are threatening to run the Redhawks out of the building.
Yeah, that press is no joke.
Talia Graham will shoot free throws.
And one thing that Como Park will make you do is speed up the game. And if you're not used to playing that fast-paced game with pressure, that's going to generate lots of turnover. So
Minnehaha, they played some up-tempo teams and up-tempo games in their season. But Como Park, they bring it.
It's a different type of up-tempo with Como Park.
It definitely is.
It ignites your flight.
Talia Graham likes to paint in her free time, and I talked to her dad about this the last time I was here. Started picking it up around 7th, 8th grade as a serious hobby or a big-time hobby, and told me she's put out some impressive artwork displays.
Yeah, you'd be amazed at some of the talents and skills some of these young ladies have in the state that we don't know about, but thanks to that breakdown book.
Well, I've had a lot of fun with that.
We know who's playing the guitar.
Ronnie Porter drives, no good.
And there she is again in the paint rebounding.
Michaela Holton, she's everywhere. But she'll be hit with her second foul. And Como Park in the penalties. So the Redhawks, they have a chance to score here at the line where Como Park's press can't do a darn thing.
And with 9:47 left on the clock, that could definitely be a strategy for them. If they can just settle down on that press and get Como Park to jump a little bit more and create some fouls. Get some buckets and some easy buckets at the line.
Mia Curtis, her favorite player is James Harden, which explains her propensity for three-pointers. And now Como Park throws it away.
Yeah, Minnehaha's putting on a little press of their own.
James returns for Como.
25-8. Long way to go. And Minnehaha, remember, they came back from 19 down to beat Sauk Center in triple overtime.
Great cut. It was a great cut right there. And you know, that play, that inbounds play that Minnehaha just ran, that usually works, but Como's really running Mia off that three-point line, making it difficult for her to catch and shoot.
A lot more free throws coming.
And I thought it would be a little easier for her because she has a height advantage, but they're just pushing her off the three-point line. I'd look to see her maybe start putting the ball on the floor, getting to the line.
Kay Pryor, multi-sport athlete, much like her older siblings. Matt, the head coach, and John, who won a state title in 2013 with the boys team. Basketball, baseball, softball, those are the big sports at the Pryor household.
Ooh!
Jalen Smith showing a range.
She said, "Coach, sub me in." Yeah, exactly what I said. Use your body. You know, you realize you got a smaller guard on you. You can take her to the basket there in the bonus. Smart play.
And I can assure you, if my voice was intact, I would be a lot more excited than I sound right now. Because Mia Curtis trying to will her team back in this.
And we know she can do it.
Well, she's done it before. She had 42 against Sauk Center. Offensive rebound, Jenica Suggs.
And they got to be careful.
Mia Curtis.
All over the place. Let me give her an A for effort. Look at that bomb. Look at that bomb. That was nice.
And that will be a foul on Kay Pryor.
Way to have trust in your teammate, the smallest person in the gym, running the floor.
And not a bad hesitation move by Porter.
Work with what you got, girl. Work with what you got. Who threw that pass?
I didn't see it. I just saw Ronnie pull a little hesitation to try to get Kay Pryor off. And again, at 5'2", craftiness is a virtue.
So now we see senior Joshana Baker come into the game. So she's a defensive threat. Shauna's a track runner. You don't play track, right? You run track. She runs track. And I want to say Joshana might be graduating high school with her associate's degree in college.
Ronnie split at the line, more free throws coming, and Minnehaha in the double bonus.
Now, just like I said, Ronnie likes to show her fouls. Mia will as well. If you've played Mia, you know that she does a great job of extending that arm just enough to get the foul called on you.
Mia to shoot 2.
And at this point, yeah, you got to capitalize on every free throw.
Fluent in Spanish. Her parents are hoping that Mia will get to showcase her Spanish fluency a little more. I've tried to throw that at her a couple of times and hasn't quite picked up on it yet.
Where has Mia made a decision on where she's going to play next year?
She hasn't. Still looking for a place to call home.
Okay. Well.
That's what I mean. Colleges are still. Ronnie Porter fires the 3, but no one has come calling yet, or at least there hasn't been an offer that has suited Mia. No.
Nice rebound, Suggs. And here we go. Get the ball up the floor.
Touchdown pass to Jada James. Nothing doing. Well,
Great
Jada,
offensive rebounding by Jada there. That's what she's known for, is rebounding.
She likes to get after it.
And, it's amazing at the beginning of the season and last year. I think people underestimated her skill level because she is a smaller post player, but you don't know that. She plays very big in the paint.
She was featured in the breakdown book this year. Body and strength are the keys to getting rebounds, but you have to control yourself under the basket.
Nice, Ronnie, nice. That's called the pull-up game. I was at a tournament last summer, and Jada was underneath the basket, and she was boxing out a player, and it was just the best box out I'd ever seen. I probably could have won a photography contest with that picture.
Ronnie needs 4 more points to get to 1,000. And the sign is ready. I spoke with her grandfather, Tana Gallo. That's a walk.
Oh.
Must have dragged her pivot.
And Matt Pryor is not happy about that.
I was going to say I talked to Ronnie Porter's grandfather. I believe it's her grandfather. I could be wrong. And we talked about the chances she had of breaking 1,000 tonight. I know her mother is excited.
I think she'll do it.
They said if Ronnie plays a good game, remember she had 31 against Cretan-Durham Hall,
Yeah.
and that was an ugly game. She had an ugly 31, but I often say the hallmark of a contender
And she's feeling it.
is winning the ugly games. If you win the ugly games, that's a good sign. Right now, Como Park operating at full capacity. KK Asbury.
And KK used her basketball offensive mindset the entire way into that, right? You could see her hesitating, drawing in the defense. It's a great drive, KK.
So that should count. It does. I don't believe this.
This is really happening
34-14.
at Minnehaha. This has turned into a nice little Minneapolis-St. Paul rivalry.
It has. But again, I don't believe this. Minnehaha, they knocked off the number 1 team in 2A, Sauk Center, back in November.
Hey, it's anybody's game any given night.
Tana Gallo, Jada James.
Didn't get the call she was
Well,
expecting.
yeah, Jada James wasn't going to budge from her position.
Yeah. And we've seen her mature in that, over the years. Become very disciplined in that paint.
Look out.
And we're off.
Porter was calling for it. Looking
Yeah.
off the screen.
She's feeling it. She's feeling it.
And is that 1,000? I guess it is.
Oh, yeah.
I heard 13, but apparently it was 12.
So this is going to be an unofficial timeout, or are we calling a timeout for this? Yeah, congratulations, Ronnie. Nice job. As a sophomore, 1,000 points.
Needs about 2,300 to get to Andrea Adams.
But when I think it might have had to be about 3 years ago, Lex and I went up to Jimmy Lee to watch her play, and that was one of the one of the things that the girls were so excited about, the opportunity to potentially be able to play with Andrea Adams.
So Ronnie Porter joins the 1,000-point club, and it is an unofficial timeout. So an official's timeout is, I think, what you would classify it as.
Yeah, that's great that they let the girls do that.
It's
that's
not
great.
uncommon that for milestones. I was here, well, I wasn't here, but when LaShae Holt from Humboldt, I believe, when she broke the school record, Josh Thurrow called the timeout to stop the game so that an opposing player, LaShae Holt, could get recognized for it.
Oh, nice. We had a little different story at Como when Andrea scored.
3,000?
Yeah.
That was against St. Paul Central. I heard about that.
Yeah.
I wasn't there, but...
Little ISO here.
Yeah. At Como Park, they're feeling it, and they aren't done.
Nice way to get to the rack, Joshana. And you can see these young ladies at Como Park, they're analyzing each play. Like, do I have my player? Can I keep going? They're not picking up their dribble. Playing very sound right now, and the score shows it.
5:59 left in the first half. It's been all Como Park from the tip.
Yeah, I see Matt working the refs there at this point, but yeah, I don't know. Demaya Riley also, I think she runs track. Number 3 in for Como Park. I think she's a 3-year varsity player. So yeah, she's going to bring a little defensive pressure. And that's going to be interesting to see how Mia handles that, because Como Park can bring anybody off the bench, and they're going to put pressure on Mia. Oh, just took her stuff.
Ronnie Porter looking for 1,002, and she'll go to the line for 2.
Be so small. She's doing a good job of taking the contact that she took to the basket there.
Has she been watching Alexis Pratt tape? Because that's what she reminds me of.
Yeah. They do have a lot of the same similarities. I think you can see the maturity in Alexis' game, because she's been at that level for a little bit longer than Ronnie, but most definitely Ronnie can do for Como what Alexis does for Stillwater. Speaking of Stillwater, Scalia's playing pretty good. I saw her about a week or playing when they played Northwestern.
And with Destiny Pitts no longer playing for the team, you figure that's going to open up opportunities.
Great rebounding there by Minnehaha.
She already was a starter, but here's Talia Graham, gets the bounce.
That was a good job staying patient on that.
Talia getting double figures in each of her last 3 games.
Way to be there, Mia.
In the top 10 in steals, and then using her track speed to...
A little change of speed, yeah.
To sprint her way to the rim, and she'll shoot 2.
And as you can see, Mia has switched from a shooting game to a driving game, because she knows she's going to get to the free throw line. The refs are being very attentive to that, but you could see on that drive, she assessed her player. She went for
26.5 points, 6.5 assists, and 6 steals per game.
It's not uncommon to be able to come back from a 23-point deficit. We have 5 minutes, almost 5 minutes left in this half, and a whole nother half.
Mia Curtis, the only one in any kind of rhythm so far, though. KK Asbury looking for the 3. Mia Curtis with the rebound. Leaking out to Penny Sedgwick.
Como Park's got to be careful, because we are in the double bonus now. So every time they foul, we're going to the line. Yep.
There's another example. Again, that high-risk, high-reward defensive style.
What percentage does Minnehaha shoot from the free throw line?
They don't have that listed in
Okay.
the stat page that I got from the hub, but I have them at 10 and 15 here. Mia Curtis, as you can imagine,
Yeah.
clutch at the line.
If you can knock some of these free throws down, because you're going to get 2 every time, go ahead and chip away at this lead. And it gives your team a little bit of a breather while we're shooting these free throws, time to regroup.
Now, Tana Gallo, last time we were with you at Minnehaha, had committed to Waldorf but decided to reopen her recruitment.
Okay.
So
We have
Tana's-
options.
Right, Tana's looking for a school as well. Asbury, what a move. Couldn't finish.
Always. KK always has something sweet for us. Ooh, that looked like a...
That was
I'm not
close.
going to call it.
That was close. And there's
Look
that
at that
defense.
swarm in defense. So beautiful when they get the steal and they get right out on the break. It's amazing. And there's always someone down there rebounding. That's one thing that I really don't like is when you have an offensive player leading the break and no one else runs with her. You can see there were 4 other Como jerseys up underneath that basket. So just in case she misses it, there's someone like Deshauna go right up with the shot.
Well, that's the thing. Como has a lot of athletes. They can run.
And they're smart athletes. You know, they have a pretty high GPA. Probably one of the highest GPAs in the St. Paul Conference. But I always say if you're smart in the classroom, that translates onto the court as well. But let's not sleep on this Minnehaha team. But we can't make mistakes like that if we want to cut this lead. It's called weight rooming.
I've run out of things to say, both because my voice is not fully restored yet and because Como Park, that swarming defense.
Yeah, it's suffocating.
I know you've used the term Minnesota mosquitoes. I might have to come up with another one.
They're piranhas.
They're velociraptors.
They take big chunks out of you. Mosquitoes are just pet ski. Don't do
And
that.
there's another example.
Yeah. Got to protect that ball when you turn around. They're right there. Yeah, now, I spent a little time in St. Paul, too, and you definitely don't want a Kansas situation here. Careful where your feet go.
Oh, I didn't see anything that
would lead to
we're
that.
not at that moment, no.
That was crazy, though, right?
Crazy, but not the first time I've seen a fight this season if you follow our
Yeah.
coverage. Hopefully I won't see any more. No, Como Park, I've seen them over the years, and they don't get physical like that.
No.
The most
Other teams get very frustrated,
Right.
but no, they're very disciplined.
the most aggressive I've seen them is usually the Twin Cities games with South. They can jaw at the other team a little bit, but that's as far as it goes. Mia
Step
Curtis
back,
with a step back. You bet.
yes. And the De La Salle rivalry, that usually gets pretty physical.
Well, they haven't played each other in a regular season game since 2015.
We watch that game with Andrea all the time.
You're not alone. That's still my most watched game, over 550,000.
You can accredit us for at least once a week.
And they haven't played each other since. It's kind of a bummer because I know Alexis Gray Lawson, Tanisha Scott, they get along.
Yeah.
They're buddies off the court. And I would love to see that rivalry get renewed.
Oh, eat them up.
But De La Salle, they've got plenty of rivalries of their own with Cretin-Durham Hall, Minnehaha, that came back.
Yeah.
And this rivalry with Holy Angels, that's turned into something.
It's great basketball. That's what it's. It's great basketball.
Mia Curtis, nice dish.
Yeah.
And this is what you want if you're Minnehaha. Just try to get some plays your way.
And Graham's been in the right place at the right time for me a couple times tonight. Great rebound. Great box out.
Now that's what the Redhawks need, some one-and-done possessions.
Great way. Nice
That's-
drop your shoulder, get into the basket.
Yeah, it looked a little out of control maybe.
Yeah.
Penny Sedgwick going, I can't believe it.
I thought she was gonna. She probably thought she was gonna get the foul call, but
Instead, she gets hit with her fourth.
he sounds shocked too. The announcer.
I'd sound shocked too if I had my voice all together. So Jalen Smith will shoot a pair.
Yeah, Jalen has lots of intensity.
Redhawks executions 43K prior, number 1, Jen Sons.
I'm going to say they're living up to their motto, all gas, no brakes, for Como Park.
Someone would need to check. I don't think their brakes are working. Jalen Smith averaging 7.2 a game, splits at the line there.
And it just seems like Minnehaha's just a little out of sorts right now. Here we go. We got 3-4 white players down the team.
Asbury through the hole and in.
Yeah, nice move, KK. Once again.
That's the second foul on Mia Curtis.
And each one of her, both fouls she's received, from KK, Ronnie showing those fouls. Looks like somebody watched some good film tonight.
Riley for three.
And there we go. How many offensive rebounds was that? 2?
I wish I knew. We need a statistician. But a matchup like Minnehaha, as you said, favors Como Park when it comes to rebounding because they're a small team. Minnehaha doesn't have a ton of height compared to last year. Mia Curtis steps into a 3.
But we know.
Well, there's Jenica Suggs. It's not that the Redhawks don't have good rebounders, but the two teams are similar in terms of size. So
Right.
Como Park, they don't have to compensate as much as
Right.
they would against a De La Salle type team.
Right. It looks like Lex is going to bring senior Linda Mitchell off the bench. I think Linda's been with the program for 4 years. And what is she listed at? 6'1"?
Height not listed.
Oh, it's not listed. I'd list her at 6'1".
Next time we do a Como game, I'll bring a tape measure and then you can find out exactly where they fall. Suggs blank at the line. Loose ball.
Okay, ref. All right. That's always nervous. I always get nervous when they're on the floor scrambling like that.
I mean, it does have an NFL scrum type feel to it. Mitchell no good. Dead
Sometimes
ball
you're
rebound to the Cougars.
just too open.
Well, in Como Park,
And I'd like
the
to see
accelerator.
Minnehaha, pick up the intensity a little bit, and they look a little defeated right now. It's 1 minute left. Go ahead and play hard for this minute. Got to be careful. Watch that 3 ball.
there it is. Riley unable to make it work, but another offensive rebound for the Cougars. Mitchell, well, if Ronnie Porter can show her fouls, Linda Mitchell drawing the contact.
Yeah, this is a part of the game where, you're leading by so much. You want to get all your teammates involved.
Official having a quick word with Ronnie Porter, making sure she's okay. Linda Mitchell.
Okay,
well,
Linda.
we're getting to know a lot of the Como Park team. Mitchell doesn't score a lot, just 4 points all season.
Yeah, Linda and Demaya are good friends. Linda attended the HBCU college tour this summer with Demaya and Joshana Baker. Went down south to see some good schools. And I want to say Linda got a scholarship to one of the schools there. And here we go. Look at the Como numbers down the floor.
As soon as they get the rebound, they're off to the races.
Yeah.
Ronnie Porter with the layup. And that's what makes this Como Park team such a tough assignment. As soon as they get the board, they take off.
And they're pushing those shooters off the line. Excellent defensive strategy. That was questionable, Mike. We at least have 2 or 3 questionable ones a game. That's our first one. Not bad.
Again, I'm watching my voice, so I'm keeping more thoughts to myself than usual. But it's kick ball and another break for the Cougars in a first half full of them. Everything going Como Park's way.
Everything.
And this surprises me. Madison East, maybe not so much. They're a team rebuilding. Minnehaha, they're a top 10 team. Defending state champs. They beat Sauk Center. And Como Park has a more than 2-1 advantage.
Oh, Linda, give it to him. Nice roll. Way to be patient and wait for that.
And they have a chance to get 50.
That's got to be frustrating for
50 against a defending state champ.
Gosh, that's got to be frustrating. And it's also frustrating for Kate Pryor to pick up her third foul with 2.3 left on the clock.
Mia Curtis can't believe what's happening, and Linda Mitchell wants that one back. So Como Park won't get 50, but just about everything else has gone their way. 49-23, the halftime score. I don't believe this.
All right, this was a shocker. I thought this game would be a lot closer, but that full court press that Como puts on is just strangulating.
Strangulating indeed. Or as Como Park might say right about now, let's go crazy. I know that's not the song, but you know where I'm going with the reference. 49-23 the score. Ronnie Porter passed the 1,000-point mark, and we still have 18 more minutes to play. Stick around for the second half.
Twin City Sports Broadcasting, and a whole lot more. That's what you get from TSB Television. We provide long-lasting digital coverage of your favorite athletes from the preps to the pros. Dazzling moves.
Holloman, good if it goes. Yes!
Game winners.
James, she's in trouble. Finds James, toss shot, it goes in!
And everything in between.
Before we let you go, do you want to say hi to anybody?
Oh, I don't know. That put me on the spot there.
If you want to connect with our audience, visit us at patreon.com/TSB Television or sponsor our coverage through PayPal and Cash App. Thank you for watching.
First half coming. In fact, Como Park, they lead 49-23. You could tell everything's going their way. Their halftime huddle lasted maybe 2 minutes before they came back out.
Oh, yeah. I mean, at this point for Pryor, he's really got to walk his team through this and pump them up and get them back engaged in the game and keep their spirits up, because you can come back from this.
They'll need a lot to go their way to make that happen. They came back from 19 down to beat Sauk Center, but that comeback started in the first half. Ronnie Porter with 15 points, KK Asbury with 13 to lead the Cougars, and they're getting a lot of bench production as well. 12 points off the bench. Minnehaha, led by Mia Curtis with 14. The rest of the team just has 9.
And she's got to get some help. They've got to get on the boards for her.
And no matter what happens, I've got to think Matt and the Minnehaha team are thinking to themselves, as Pryor scores the layup, they've got to be thinking to themselves, we are so glad we don't have to face this team in state. Because Minnehaha's in 2A, Como
Nice
Park's in
step
3A.
through. That was a great step through right there. That's a great skill set to have when you're a little big man.
You mentioned the saying, all gas, no brakes. For Como Park, they hit the gas as soon as the game began.
Yeah. That's
Didn't even bother going into first gear. They shifted right to fourth. Talia Graham will shoot 2.
they should get some T-shirts that say that. But the last 2 possessions, they've come down this right side and went to their basket. I don't know if that's...
Sorry to interrupt.
That's
because
okay.
Dante, one of our camera ops, is starting his own clothing printing type of business here. So,
Yeah, I'm sure Jeff would love that.
Jeff, Dante could probably help you with the all gas, no brakes apparel.
And then you guys could buy an ad
Actually,
on your
Dante
Patreon.
wants to.
Yeah,
That would be weird.
that would be profitable.
While we're at it, Talia Graham, maybe she'll start selling some of her paintings at some point.
And she could buy an ad on your Patreon.
Well, she's a sophomore. I think she has bigger issues than sponsorship right now.
And one thing that we know about Chloe is that she can knock down that three. She is a post player that runs the floor well and shoots the ball well.
I mean, I know it's amazing. We haven't talked much about Dimitri, but haven't needed to.
Yeah, but Dimitri is a kid who stays in the gym. She works extremely hard. She's extremely disciplined. Whoever gets her post-high school, they're in for a treat.
Well, I know Olivia Antilla, who you mentioned earlier, at 43 hoops, really high on Chloe's work ethic.
Yeah.
She wanted to come to this game, but couldn't because of a work commitment, and she is probably kicking herself knowing what the score is right now. But I had a chance to cover a Como Park game with her. Mia Curtis gets a 3 to drop. That's number 57 on the season.
Well, and there we go. We got a steal underneath the basket. And just like that, so 20, we're down to 20 points. But, you know, hand down, man down on Mia. If you don't put your hand up, she's going to take that shot.
Oh, absolutely. KK Asbury tried to draw the foul there, but she gets the layup, so you'll take the points.
Yeah, nice move. Little fake dish out, bring it back in. Great body control there.
And this will be an easy layup.
And, you know, Como, as soon as that still happens, they know they have someone out on that break. They're open. They're underneath their basket. They're positioning themselves well. So they've made that full court press really pay off for themselves.
I'm surprised more of these athletes don't run track at Como Park.
Well, it takes a special skill, and theirs is more of a jump trap. So rotation has got to be there. And here we go again,
saying,
3 on 2.
You put this team on a sprint team, a relay race.
Yeah.
Dimitri with the layup, and the route is on. Just when it looked like Minnehaha was going to snuff out this run, Como Park.
Do you burn another timeout?
Forget the gas. They've gone straight to warp speed.
Right.
Mia Curtis.
Oh. A little more urgency is going to be needed to chip this lead away.
Mia doing what she can. But Como just has so much speed and tenacity.
Mm-hmm. And instinct. It's almost instinctive, you know.
And we, as we said a few times before, this team, this group, they've been together for several years. When Andrea Adams graduated, I know I wondered, and maybe some others, how Como Park would sustain themselves. And
I knew.
You knew Alexis Gray Lawson?
Yeah.
Well, and I would say when she took over for John Robinson, I sensed a stronger accountability with this team.
Yeah. And with the new additions and remodeling at Como High School, if you haven't been over there recently, the school looks amazing.
I like the new bathrooms.
And just like Minnehaha has a great facility as well. But I look to see some of the St. Paul athletes in that school area staying instead of utilizing their open enrollment.
I don't think you'll have too much trouble convincing girls around St. Paul to play for Como.
Yeah. And their feeder school is Murray, and Murray traditionally has had a really strong junior high school program.
Jada James muscling her way in for 2.
Weight rooming.
Now
we got to capitalize off of this.
The lead is 30.
They're really not letting her get into that three-point line. Here we go. Here's the break again.
For once, a play that doesn't work. Oh, my goodness. If that went in, I would have gone home. If Jada James knocked down that 3, I would have seen enough. I would have said.
Yeah, you know, and one thing you can know that this getting out on a break is a practice skill as well. This is something that you incorporate in your drills at practice, repetition. You know, down and back in 11 seconds. That was one thing that was mandatory for the girls at Como.
And I don't think Minnehaha sees anything like this among the 2A teams.
Imagine if they would have been able to capitalize on these last few breaks that they've had. Geez, are they going to?
We're really discussing a first world problem here for Como Park right now.
You know, you have your post player. You have your post player putting moves on their defensive assignment.
If you're wondering, Como Park, all their losses this season, 3 to 4A teams, won a close one with St. Louis Park in overtime, and then a close loss with Stewartville, a top team in 2A. You do wonder, although the way they played against Minnehaha, when I saw them play Madison East, this is just me personally, I would like to see how they would fare against Assembly or St. Croix Lutheran, someone in 3A. I'd say that's the one knock. I'm not in charge of scheduling. I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
Because I think this Como Park team, if they played one of their potential state tournament foes, they no longer continued their series with only Angels, but if you played a De La Salle or St. Croix Lutheran or Simley, I think you could give any of those teams a run.
Oh, yeah. They're very in tune with each other. So that last set of free throws, Jada hit both of them. She has 8 points right now, but it seems like she contributes so much on the floor that she should have more than 8 points. She's doing a lot. She's working hard out there.
Well, again, she had a more active role as far as points and rebounds go, but she stepped back a bit, and folks like Porter and Asbury have blossomed. So, as I said before, less pressure on Jada to perform. Not that she had any.
But she's like a filler. You know, her hands touching the ball. She's a defensive threat. Just as I said that, a little bit out of position there.
So, barring something strange, Como Park will pick up their 5th straight win.
Stressful situation there.
Oh, boy.
And it's like Como's just playing with them now. It's cat and mouse.
This has turned into a clinic.
Cat and
Look
mouse.
out.
Oh, my goodness. Or let me do your part. Bullseye.
Thank you, because if I do it, my voice will be gone, and I got to call Hopkins, St. Michael, Albertville.
Here we go. Here we go.
Gallo with the answer.
Nice rebound. It's just a little short. Everything's just a little short. And here we go. 2-on-1 again.
And that's one of the big differences here compared to other Minnehaha games I've called. Tana Gallo not able to get on the board. I don't believe this.
I probably would call a
70-31.
timeout and put some initiative into them. Like, if there's another 2-on-1 that occurs. And here we go again.
Ronnie
Wow,
Porter.
wow.
Encore.
Wow.
3-ball corner pocket.
That technique that Mia just used there is called the swim over. It usually automatically results in either you getting past your player or a foul being called on your player. As long as you don't extend your arm out or extend your arm out.
Look at the score.
But Ronnie's on fire. She's found her sweet spot over there in that corner.
I'm aghast at this score. I can't get my mind off it. Serious, 73-33.
This isn't sending a message. Got to give up that ball sooner.
Pryor for 3. Got it.
Good ball rotation there.
You noted in warm-ups that some of Como Park's players were stretching right at center court near the logo as if they were saying, this is our house. Well, they turned it into their house. So
yeah, that's a psychological thing that we did in the 90s. If you were an away team, you definitely weren't welcome in center court, on someone's center court.
Zenica Suggs scoring for the Redhawks. And Alexis Gray Lawson will call a timeout. And you might be wondering why you would do that when you're up by 35. The last couple of possessions, All gas, no brakes. And Alexis Gray Lawson's not going to take a play off.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Knowing her coaching style, no matter what the score is, if she's given you an assignment and she expects execution, and so that's what she's talking to them about right now. You can see that she's very intense, and there's something that she wants accomplished, and so she wants to remind them, no matter what the score is, we have a purpose here. So
that makes it 73-38. But Como Park, what a performance. Ronnie Porter with 21, KK Asbury with 15. Some other fun facts: KK Asbury, basketball and softball crossover. And Jada James, a volleyball softball crossover. She says, I'm only 5'9", but I have some hops. I'm going to get that ball one way or another on the defensive end. And apparently, according to her own recollection, folks have told her play reminds him of Draymond Green from the Golden State Warriors.
Okay.
So with 10:55 to go, this is the last non-conference game, competitive one, or at least I thought it was going to be. Como Park will get South St. Paul on February 1st. That one, they should have no trouble winning. And the St. Paul City Conference hasn't given them a challenge in years.
Yeah.
Not since Andrea Adams was there.
And,
so we'll see them at the Twin Cities game. Go ahead.
Something to be noted on that, coming out of that timeout, there were two Minnehaha players that were on the wrong end of the floor. Man, you can't have those psychological breaks. Like, you gotta, especially when you're trying to chip a lead away, gotta stay focused.
KK Asbury knocked down the three. Everything going in for the Cougars. LaToya, I know you've been on the receiving end of blowouts like this as a player and as a coach. If you're
Not really.
Well, I'm sure at Kent State, but in a situation like this, if you're Minnehaha, what do you tell them?
You gotta encourage them to keep their head up and keep playing and play through it, and one possession at a time. Get a defensive stop. Become offensive mindset, score on the offense, and just keep chipping away. And, yeah. But they got to stay focused. They got to talk to each other. They keep working. And you can see a lot of the players are looking over to the bench. They want some reassurance. They want to know what are we supposed to do next. This is unfamiliar territory for them. And so you can kind of see they're a little discombobulated.
Well, Asbury gets to 20 points. Ronnie Porter with 21. So Asbury with the third 20-point game of the season, looking to add two more.
Nice block. That's what you need. That's exactly what you need right there.
And look at the bench.
And then, right now, the ball's being thrown in. Match up right now. Get big.
Runner, no good for Jalen Smith. Free throws coming for Michaela Holton.
Michaela Holton's been beasting down there in the paint.
Ronnie Porter picked up her sixth game with 20 or more. And we'll be in running time here shortly, but...
Gosh, I can't believe that.
No. Going in, the Star Tribune Hub pegged this as one of the games to watch this week.
Yeah.
And everybody, they thought this was going to be a fun matchup. But Como Park, what you're seeing is a product years in the making. It started when Andrea Adams was a senior, and it's carried over.
You're right.
To this group of sophomores now. Because remember, they came in as 8th graders when Michaela Van Nett was a senior.
And that's going to be something that Mia's going to have to do. She's just going to have to get to the basket.
Well, that's no trouble for Mia.
But, this jogging back on defense is not going to work for Minnehaha if they want to chip this lead down. And you see now Ronnie recognizes she has a mismatch. So she's going to ask for the clear out.
Fires, no good. And Minnehaha, they have a few more tests coming their way. They have a doubleheader with St. Peter on February 8th. That's a road game. And then I imagine you'll want to come back for this. The rivalry with De La Salle.
Oh, yeah.
Minnehaha hosted this year. It's February 22nd. So if everything works out, just like last year, we'll do the Twin Cities girls game where it looks like Como and South will play each other again. And then Minnehaha and De La Salle will go at it.
Yeah, how about those Hill sisters? I had a conversation about them in the car. It's a phenomenal group of young ladies there.
We probably would hear more about them if they weren't in the same section as Hopkins.
Yeah.
But they're doing really well. I think better than most folks thought. Ricky Hill now the coach. He was at De La Salle for several years.
Mm-hmm.
So he brings a lot of experience and a championship culture. And I talked to the De La Salle staff about that, and they said you could tell Ricky was getting to that point, and they thought it was a great hire to help try to rebuild that South program. And a friend of the family for Tanisha Scott, because her two younger sisters are on that team.
Right. I think there are a lot of aspects of girls basketball here in the state that have just grown and are phenomenal to watch. There are a couple of places where I'd like to see some improvement. We'll talk about that off camera.
Well, Como Park. Ronnie Porter can't believe the foul was called against her. She said, my hands are up, but...
Hey, and we know Mia's one of the best at that. You got to really play that smart. A couple of times she called, Ronnie was able to show that offensive hold, but Mia's really good at that. And if you use the swim over technique, it usually works in your favor.
Free throws coming for Mia. We are in running time. But for Como Park, you have to like how they progressed this week. Cretin-Durham Hall, that was a grind.
And, and this Como team is playing without Shania Nichols. So, talk about a shootout when she gets back next year.
She tore her ACL last summer. Might come back at the end of the season. Jada James.
It's unstoppable.
Jada James with the mid-range J.
That's just pure frustration at this point. But Como's averaging, 2 passes a possession and then score?
And they haven't let up yet.
I haven't seen Suggs' weight room like that all season.
83-42.
And she's looking for the leak out.
It's instinctively.
Nice move.
Oh my goodness.
Nice.
Shakyla Walker. A little razzle-dazzle. Forget the leak out. She'll just take it all the way.
Yes, that was a great move. We're getting highlights tonight, Mike.
This is the 7th time this season Como Park has put up 80 or more.
And they're on track they could possibly hit 100.
I don't see them doing that in this situation.
The speed, we're going to see, Mike.
If it were a closer game, maybe, but I don't think you want to rub it in.
You think so?
But maybe I'm too nice. Because I know most teams, Madison East comes to mind. Como Park probably could have had 100, but they backed off at the end.
But that's a friendly rivalry. We're talking about.
Well, I don't
state.
This isn't an insidious rivalry, though.
Hey, they're gonna send a message.
I think they already have.
They're going for it, Mike.
I could see them getting 90, which they've done 3 times.
That's going to happen here in the next 2 minutes or 2 seconds. They're at 87 now. We got 5:39 left on the clock.
Not that it matters. But no, historically, I don't see teams going for 100 unless they need to. Because it's just not seen as good sportsmanship. So I don't see them going for 100, even though they probably could. But I did not expect them to put on a performance like this.
Yeah. If You're absolutely right. I mean, I knew they were going to come
did.
full throttle. I expected them to come full throttle, but what I
did
didn't
too.
expect was for Minnehaha to stay frazzled as long as they stayed frazzled.
I expected a full throttle, but I don't think we expected a massacre.
And our Como fan dad section.
My apologies to the Minnehaha fans, but I can't think of another word to describe it.
Yeah.
This is a old-fashioned butt kicking.
And then I want to give a shout out to the Como dads over there, #1 cheerleaders.
But Minnehaha, they'll regroup.
Yeah, they will.
Okay.
This is going to be a learning lesson.
Right. They scheduled a lot of tough non-conference teams. This was one of them. Sauk Center, De La Salle, St.
Got to be
Peter.
able to finish these. It almost looks like they're a little intimidated or skeptical about going up.
They do seem a little uncertain.
Yeah, apprehensive.
But it's not often you see a team like this.
Great job from Ronnie Porter tonight. Great job leading her team, facilitating the floor. She's a great all-around player.
21 points.
Sometimes you think about a kid and you look at their height and you might, but she's Division I player all day.
Well, Alexis Pratt is another one that shows
Yeah.
how height is not the only indicator of talent. Ronnie Porter slowly making a name for herself. Riley, there's 90.
Hey, when you're practicing and when you're in practice and your defensive assignment is Ronnie Porter, you got to be able to shoot and play defense. So all of these girls, there's no let up. Whoever comes off the bench, there's no let up.
That is Riley's first field goal of the game. Talia Graham with the answer. Well, Graham, she'll keep her double-digit streak going with 13 points.
That's nice.
She's done that now in 4 straight games.
And thanks for pointing out, her dad's Jerome Graham. And I just realized, hey, I do know him.
I remembered, or I forgot. You know everybody.
A few here and there.
You know everybody. Traveling call. Well, they didn't give Riley the 3, so it's 89. And now that I think back on it, Riley did cross the line. But, yeah, I saw you caught up with Jerome briefly.
Yeah. Still a lot taller than he was in high school.
Offensive foul. Well, after I had a chance to meet Jerome, I figured out where Talia got her vertical from.
Yeah.
Kind of like Frankie Vassalero.
Isn't that amazing that, you can see their
You can see
their
which side of the
line,
gene pool won out.
Yeah. Nice roll, Linda. Nice roll, Linda.
Your daughters, I'm not sure which side won out, but Tamaya, I don't think got your genes. As far as vertical goes.
Vertical, yeah. But definitely my hooping skills.
I still want to see tape.
Yeah.
You and
listen,
Anessa going at it.
Oh, yeah. Those are good days in Joy Thomas, Shonda Holden from North, Shezwan Riley from Southwest. Played for a little bit with Tracy Henderson and Brandy Decker over the summer. Yeah, I played with some greats.
Well, Talia Graham at the line.
Coach Faith Johnson was just starting off over at North there, and she had those 8th graders, Tamara, and all of those guys. It was great. We had great basketball.
Well, Talia Graham up to 15 and likely one of the centerpieces of the future for the Redhawks.
Absolutely.
With the senior trio of Pryor, Gallo, and Curtis graduating. You'll see Graham, Suggs. They're going to be the new faces of this program.
We got the last 30 seconds of the game here, and just like to see the girls.
Well, Minnehaha getting a few plays out of it. So Curtis will finish with 25. Any other night, we'd be talking about that.
Yeah.
Instead, we're talking about this wire-to-wire Como Park runaway win.
Gosh, there were so many 2-on-1s, 3-on-2s. They just ran the floor so well, finished at the basket well. The entire game, all gas, no breaks tonight.
Well, they might have let off the gas a little bit at the end compared to the first 30 minutes, but 89-55, so no 90-point effort for Como Park. Not that they needed it. What a game for the Cougars, though. I don't believe what I just saw.
Yeah, they completely dismantled this Minnehaha team here, and you can see the frustration on the girls right away. I just don't think they were expecting this physical of a game, but they came at them, and mission accomplished. That swarming full-court defense, that was just too much pressure.
Well, you might have to lead the post-game interview because I don't know if I'll have the voice for it, but Como Park spoke loudly tonight. 89-55 is the final. This is high school girls basketball. And joining me are KK Asbury and Ronnie Porter. Ronnie, will get the obvious out of the way. You crossed 1,000 points tonight. How soon before you get to 2,000?
Wait, say that again?
How soon before you get to 2,000?
Soon, next year.
I like that attitude. And you only have, 2,200 to catch Andrea Adams? That's within reach, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, I like her approach. But seriously, 89-55, I'm looking at the score, and I've got a blank stare of surprise. I didn't see this coming. How in the world did you pull this off?
I mean, we had team meetings, and, we worked together, hard practices, and we just trust each other more now. And it's getting to the end of the season, so everything's starting to come into flow.
That being said, I know you beat Minnehaha last year, but to win in this fashion, what does it say about this Como Park team?
We got something great coming ahead. Something great.
Well, KK, part of that greatness, your third 20-point game of the season, something we saw tonight out of Como Park. As soon as you got a rebound or a steal, everyone runs to the basket. No one takes a play off. All gas, no breaks is your motto. I think you ditched the breaks. Forget the gas. I'm pretty sure you went to warp speed in this one. How are you able to run against Minnehaha like that?
It starts with defense. So once we were playing good defense, getting a roll, getting tips, getting steals, that's how we got our offense going, fast breaks going, and that's our bread and butter.
And what would you make of this week? With Cretin-Durham Hall, it was an ugly win, and then you turn around and put in perhaps one of your best performances of the season.
Yeah, for sure. We were looking for our peak game, to get us going, and I think this was definitely the game. This is definitely what we needed. We played as a team, and we got the dub. So.
I also saw what might have been the shortest halftime speech that I don't know what your coach said, but 2 minutes later, you're back out in warm-ups. When you put up 49 and you had a 2-1 advantage at the half, what did the coach say, and how did you keep that energy going?
She just said to keep it going, and like I was just saying, it starts with defense, and that's our bread and butter, so that's what got us the lead and the win.
And Ronnie, what does it mean to have several teammates? I see another KK and KK Adams, Nia Holloway. A lot of folks came out to watch you get 1,000. What does that say about the support you've received?
I don't know, just a lot of love for everybody that showed up today, and I thank them. Hard work. It was a lot of hard work. And I appreciate them for coming out.
And also a statement for the vertically challenged basketball players, I guess yourself and Alexis Pratt, examples that you don't always have to have height to make an impact.
Yeah. Heart over height, basically. Just heart over height, yeah.
KK, I imagine you embody that same motto.
Yeah, for sure. Yep, and everything we do is hard-earned, so we got to get our money. And I'm really proud of Ronnie, This has been my teammate for a couple years, since the beginning of my basketball career, so proud of her.
She's next. 2 games, 1 game?
18 away is what I heard, so no pressure, KK.
Yeah.
But whatever happens, I know you don't want to peak tonight, but how fun is it where everything is going your way against a defending state champion?
This is just, like I said, this is exactly what we needed. I think this is going to get our season going in the direction we need to make it state.
Yeah, same thing KK said. I'm really speechless right now.
All right, you want to say hi to anybody?
Yes, everybody. Hi, everybody.
Hi to everybody, everybody that showed up, and thank you guys.
Well, you saw Ronnie Porter get 1,000 points, 2,000 and 3,000. Who knows? That could be within reach someday, but congrats on the win. That was a surprising effort, but you put in the work to get there. So a pat on the back to you guys. Props to you, and we'll see if you can jumpstart the season like you said.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you.
KK Asbury and Ronnie Porter, and that wraps up our coverage here from the Bergstrom Court at Minnehaha Academy. I'm Mike Peden. Thanks for watching.